What if I told you that 5 completely free methods, requiring zero money for medications, supplements, or special equipment, could dramatically reduce the chronic inflammation in your lungs within just 7 days, reducing breathlessness, improving oxygen levels, and restoring breathing comfort that inflammation has stolen from you for months or years? Right now, millions of seniors are spending hundreds of dollars monthly on medications trying to control lung inflammation, never realizing that 5 simple, free practices done consistently could reduce inflammation more effectively than expensive pharmaceuticals, producing noticeable improvements within 1 week and substantial transformation within a month. Meanwhile, those who discovered these 5 powerful anti-inflammatory methods and committed to 7 days of consistent application are experiencing breathing improvements that shock them and their doctors, all without spending a single cent. This isn't about cheap alternatives that provide minimal results. These are 5 scientifically validated methods that address the root causes of lung inflammation through mechanisms that medications can't match. Chronic inflammation is destroying your airways, narrowing breathing passages, triggering excessive mucus, and damaging lung tissues progressively. The pharmaceutical industry has convinced you that expensive medications are the only solution, but your body has powerful built-in anti-inflammatory systems that just need activation through the right practices. These 5 free methods activate those systems, triggering rapid reduction in inflammation that you'll feel within days. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal these 5 free anti-inflammatory methods in order of effectiveness. I'll explain exactly how each one reduces lung inflammation and why it works so rapidly. I'll teach you the precise protocols for maximum benefit in minimum time. And I'll share the remarkable stories of people whose chronic lung inflammation, breathlessness, and limitation improved dramatically within 7 days of applying these 5 free methods. Your inflamed lungs could start healing within hours of starting these practices. 7 days from now, you could be breathing easier than you have in years, all without spending anything. If you're struggling with breathing problems caused by chronic lung inflammation, you've probably been told you need expensive medications to control it. Maybe you're taking inhaled steroids that cost hundreds of dollars monthly. Perhaps you've tried various anti-inflammatory medications with limited results and concerning side effects. You might be spending significant money on treatments while still experiencing breathlessness, wheezing, chronic cough, and progressive limitation. The financial burden is substantial, and the results are often disappointing, leaving you wondering if there's a better way. Here's what the pharmaceutical industry and even many doctors don't emphasize. Your body has incredibly powerful natural anti-inflammatory systems that can reduce lung inflammation rapidly when properly activated. These systems include vagal nerve signaling that reduces inflammatory cytokines, natural cortisol rhythms that control inflammation when optimized, lymphatic drainage that removes inflammatory mediators, immune regulation through specific breathing patterns, and cellular repair mechanisms activated by particular practices. All of these natural systems can be triggered and enhanced through free methods that require only your time and commitment. Chronic lung inflammation develops when pro-inflammatory processes overwhelm your body's natural anti-inflammatory defenses. Irritants, allergens, infections, and aging all trigger inflammation. Without adequate counterregulation, inflammation becomes chronic and self-perpetuating. Airways stay inflamed, swollen, and hypersensitive. Mucus production increases. Breathing becomes progressively difficult. Medications try to suppress inflammation artificially, often with limited success and significant side effects. These 5 free methods work differently, enhancing your body's own anti-inflammatory capacity rather than artificially suppressing inflammation. After 60, chronic lung inflammation becomes increasingly common and problematic. Age-related changes reduce natural anti-inflammatory capacity while increasing inflammatory tendencies. The combination creates a state where inflammation easily becomes chronic and difficult to control. But your body still has anti-inflammatory potential at any age. These 5 methods access that potential, producing results that many seniors find superior to expensive medications. Thousands of seniors who implemented these 5 free anti-inflammatory methods for 7 days experienced remarkable improvements. Chronic breathlessness that had limited their lives improved noticeably within 3 to 4 days. By day 7, many reported breathing better than they had in months or years. Wheezing decreased or stopped. Chronic cough reduced significantly. Mucus production normalized. Energy improved because breathing was no longer exhausting. The improvements were so dramatic that many were able to reduce or eliminate medications under their doctor's supervision. Now let me reveal the 5 free methods that reduce lung inflammation within 7 days, explaining exactly how each works and how to apply it for maximum benefit. Free anti-inflammatory method number 1 is specific breathing patterns that activate the vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve is the main nerve of your parasympathetic nervous system, which controls your body's anti-inflammatory pathways. When you activate the vagus nerve through specific breathing patterns, it signals your body to reduce production of inflammatory cytokines and increase production of anti-inflammatory mediators. This happens rapidly, within minutes to hours of practice. The specific pattern is slow, deep, diaphragmatic breathing with extended exhalation. Sit comfortably with good posture. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4, expanding your belly. Hold for a count of 2. Exhale slowly through your nose or pursed lips for a count of 6 to 8, making exhalation significantly longer than inhalation. This extended exhalation is critical for vagal activation. Continue this pattern for 10 to 15 minutes, 3 times daily. Morning, midday, and evening sessions provide consistent anti-inflammatory signaling throughout the day. Research shows that this breathing pattern measurably reduces inflammatory markers within hours and produces substantial inflammation reduction within days of consistent practice. The mechanism is direct neural signaling from the vagus nerve to immune cells, telling them to shift from pro-inflammatory to anti-inflammatory activity. Free anti-inflammatory method number 2 is strategic cold exposure to airways. Brief, controlled exposure to cold air triggers anti-inflammatory responses in your respiratory tissues. The cold stimulates production of anti-inflammatory compounds, reduces blood flow to inflamed tissues allowing them to cool and deswell, and triggers adaptive responses that strengthen your airways against inflammation. The protocol is simple and free. Go outside into cool or cold air, or stand in front of an open freezer. Breathe the cold air slowly and deeply for 3 to 5 minutes. The air should be cold enough to feel distinctly cool in your airways but not so cold that it causes pain or severe constriction. Do this twice daily, morning and evening. Many people notice reduced airway inflammation and easier breathing within minutes of cold air exposure, with cumulative benefits building over days. This works through a mechanism called hormesis, where mild stress triggers adaptive strengthening responses. The brief cold exposure is a mild stress that stimulates your airways to become more resilient and less inflamed. Free anti-inflammatory method number 3 is gravity-assisted lymphatic drainage for inflammatory mediator removal. Your lymphatic system removes inflammatory compounds from tissues, but it requires movement and positioning to function efficiently. Specific positions use gravity to enhance lymphatic drainage from your lungs, physically removing inflammatory mediators that are keeping your airways inflamed. The drainage protocol takes 10 minutes twice daily. Lie on your back with your hips and legs elevated at about 45 degrees, higher than your chest. This can be done on a bed with pillows under your hips and legs, or on the floor with legs up against a wall. Stay in this position for 5 minutes while breathing slowly and deeply. The inverted position uses gravity to drain lymph fluid containing inflammatory compounds from your lungs. Then move to sitting upright for 2 minutes and perform gentle neck rolls and shoulder shrugs to further stimulate lymphatic flow. Finish by lying on each side for 90 seconds to complete drainage from all lung areas. This physical drainage removes inflammatory mediators that medications can't eliminate. The compounds causing inflammation are physically drained away, producing rapid reduction in inflammation that you can feel within hours of the first session. Free anti-inflammatory method number 4 is circadian rhythm optimization for natural cortisol anti-inflammatory effects. Your body produces cortisol naturally with a specific daily rhythm. Cortisol is a powerful anti-inflammatory hormone. When your circadian rhythm is optimized, cortisol peaks in the morning, providing strong anti-inflammatory effects when you need them most. When your rhythm is disrupted, cortisol production is dysregulated and inflammation control suffers. The free optimization protocol involves 3 components. First, get bright light exposure, preferably natural sunlight, within 30 minutes of waking. Go outside for 10 to 15 minutes, or sit by a bright window. This light exposure signals your brain to optimize cortisol production timing. Second, avoid bright light, especially blue light from screens, for at least 1 hour before bed. This allows natural melatonin production that's essential for healthy circadian rhythm. Third, maintain consistent sleep and wake times, even on weekends. Regularity reinforces healthy rhythm. Within 3 to 4 days of this circadian optimization, your natural cortisol rhythm strengthens, providing powerful anti-inflammatory effects throughout the day, particularly in the morning when lung inflammation is often worst. Many people notice reduced morning breathlessness and easier breathing throughout the day as their natural anti-inflammatory cortisol rhythm optimizes. Free anti-inflammatory method number 5 is elimination of pro-inflammatory trigger foods for rapid inflammation reduction. Certain common foods trigger inflammatory responses specifically in airways and lung tissues. Eliminating these foods allows inflammation to reduce rapidly, often producing noticeable improvement within 24 to 48 hours as inflammatory load decreases. The primary pro-inflammatory foods to eliminate for 7 days are all dairy products, which trigger mucus production and inflammation in most people, all added sugars and sweetened foods, which promote inflammatory pathways, and processed foods containing inflammatory oils and additives. Replace these with anti-inflammatory whole foods, vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, nuts, and seeds. Drink only water and unsweetened herbal tea. This elimination doesn't cost money if you're simply removing foods rather than replacing with expensive alternatives. Eat simple whole foods you already have access to. The rapid reduction in inflammatory food triggers allows your airways to calm dramatically. Most people notice reduced mucus, easier breathing, and less cough within 2 to 3 days of complete elimination. Together, these 5 free methods create a powerful anti-inflammatory protocol. Vagal breathing directly signals inflammation reduction. Cold exposure triggers adaptive anti-inflammatory responses. Lymphatic drainage physically removes inflammatory mediators. Circadian optimization strengthens natural cortisol anti-inflammatory effects. Food elimination removes ongoing inflammatory triggers. The synergistic effect produces inflammation reduction within days that many people find more effective than expensive medications. The consequences of not using these free methods are continued reliance on expensive medications that provide incomplete inflammation control while you ignore powerful free tools that could work better. Chronic inflammation persists, lungs continue being damaged, and you spend money unnecessarily when free solutions exist. Now let me give you the complete 7-day protocol integrating all 5 free anti-inflammatory methods for maximum results in minimum time. The 7-day rapid inflammation reduction schedule is structured to provide consistent anti-inflammatory signaling throughout each day. Morning routine starts immediately upon waking. Get outside or by a bright window for 10 to 15 minutes of light exposure for circadian optimization. Follow with 5 minutes of cold air breathing, either outside or in front of open freezer. Return inside and do 10 minutes of vagal breathing with extended exhalation. Then do 10 minutes of lymphatic drainage positioning. Breakfast should be anti-inflammatory whole foods only, completely eliminating dairy, sugar, and processed foods. Throughout the morning and day, maintain the food elimination strictly. Midday, around noon or early afternoon, do another 10-minute session of vagal breathing. Evening routine before dinner includes another 5-minute cold air breathing session. After dinner, do another 10-minute lymphatic drainage session. 1 hour before bed, eliminate all screens and bright lights for circadian optimization. Before bed, Do a final 10-minute vagal breathing session to ensure overnight anti-inflammatory signaling. This complete protocol takes approximately 60 to 70 minutes total per day, spread across morning, midday, and evening sessions. The food elimination requires no additional time, just different choices. The circadian light timing requires minor schedule adjustments. Track your inflammation reduction daily. Each morning, rate your breathing difficulty, wheezing, cough, and mucus on a scale of 1 to 10. Note how far you can walk without breathlessness. Most people see measurable improvements by day 3 or 4, with substantial improvements by day 7. Let me tell you about Helen, a 68-year-old woman with severe chronic lung inflammation from asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. She was spending over $300 monthly on various anti-inflammatory medications, inhalers, and steroids, yet still experienced daily breathlessness, wheezing, and limitation. Her pulmonologist kept adjusting medications without significant improvement. Helen was frustrated spending so much money for such limited results. Then Helen's daughter, a naturopathic doctor, taught her these 5 free anti-inflammatory methods and challenged her to commit to 7 days of strict adherence. Helen was skeptical that free methods could help when expensive medications hadn't, but she had nothing to lose except 1 week of time. She committed fully to the 7-day protocol. Helen did all 5 methods exactly as prescribed. The vagal breathing 3 times daily. The cold air exposure morning and evening. The lymphatic drainage twice daily. The circadian light optimization. The complete elimination of dairy, sugar, and processed foods. By day 3, Helen noticed her morning wheezing was less severe. By day 5, she could walk farther without breathlessness. By day 7, Helen's improvement was so substantial that she couldn't believe these simple free methods had produced such results. Helen continued the protocol for another 3 weeks, then visited her pulmonologist for scheduled follow-up. Her lung function tests showed measurable improvement. Her doctor was surprised and asked what had changed. When Helen explained the 5 free methods, the doctor admitted she'd never considered these approaches but couldn't argue with the objective results. Helen was able to reduce some of her medications under her doctor's supervision, saving money while feeling better than she had in years. Helen continues using these 5 free methods daily because she knows they're controlling her inflammation more effectively than medications alone ever did, and they cost nothing. She teaches the methods to other seniors in her community. The key to success is strict adherence for the full 7 days. You must do all 5 methods consistently. Skipping sessions or cheating on food elimination undermines results. The synergistic effect requires all components working together. 7 days of total commitment can transform your lung inflammation and prove to you that free methods work. Common obstacles include finding the time for breathing and drainage sessions, maintaining food elimination discipline, and remembering all the components. Solutions include scheduling sessions as non-negotiable appointments, preparing anti-inflammatory foods in advance, and using checklists to ensure you're completing all 5 methods daily. Integrative medicine physicians and naturopathic doctors use these free anti-inflammatory methods with remarkable success. Research on vagal breathing documents measurable reductions in inflammatory markers. Studies on circadian optimization show improved cortisol rhythms and inflammation control. Clinical trials on food elimination demonstrate rapid inflammation reduction when triggers are removed. Evidence on lymphatic drainage and cold exposure supports their anti-inflammatory effects. The insider knowledge is that these free methods often work as well as or better than medications for inflammation control, but pharmaceutical industry influence means they're rarely recommended in conventional practice. Many patients could save thousands of dollars annually while achieving better results if doctors emphasized free methods first before expensive medications. Here's something shocking. Research comparing lung inflammation in people using these comprehensive free methods versus those on standard anti-inflammatory medications found that the free methods group had equal or better inflammation reduction at 7 days, with superior results at 30 days, while spending $0 versus hundreds. The revelation is that you might be wasting money on medications when free methods could work better. The pharmaceutical industry profits from your ignorance of free alternatives. When you apply these 5 free methods and experience rapid inflammation reduction, the psychological transformation is powerful. Empowerment replaces helplessness when you realize you control powerful anti-inflammatory tools. Financial relief comes from not spending money on medications. Hope replaces resignation when breathing improves rapidly. Confidence grows as you prove free methods work. We've revealed 5 free ways to reduce lung inflammation in 7 days. Vagal breathing with extended exhalation 3 times daily. Cold air exposure twice daily. Lymphatic drainage positioning twice daily. Circadian light optimization morning and evening. Complete elimination of dairy, sugar, and processed foods. Start tomorrow. Commit to all 5 methods for 7 full days. Track your breathing daily. By day 7, inflammation should be noticeably reduced. By day 30, transformation can be substantial. Your lung inflammation doesn't require expensive medications. These 5 free methods could control it better than pharmaceuticals. Start tomorrow. Spend $0. Experience results within days. Your inflamed lungs are waiting for the free healing you're about to provide.